Hi guys, so today I'm going to talk about this topic that is functional interfaces, which was introduced in Java 1.8. It was like one of the paradigm shift which this version had brought. It reduced a lot of boilerplate code and it made the lives of developers very easy because we had to, it reduced the number of lines of code which we had to write. It was like a revolution which was introduced in this version. Actually in Java 1.8, a lot of other features also came into picture. Functional interfaces, which in combination with your Lambda expressions has made it very simpler to write a lot of complex logic. So, and this is also one of the most important interview questions which I have faced in my personal life also. And also as an interviewer, I often ask this question like to understand the knowledge of the candidate. Yeah, so let's see what functional interfaces is all about with the help of, this is not going to be a theoretical lecture. It is just along with, I have set up a few examples to show you. So let's see them one by one. Yeah. There are four types of functional interfaces which was introduced in Java. These are the inbuilt functional interfaces which Java provides, that is consumer, predicate, supplier, and function. Before that, actually, we can create a user-defined function interface. In Java, we have three types of interfaces. As you can see, a normal interface without any, wherein we define any methods without any implementation. Second would be your simple abstract interface, which is actually called the functional interface, which goes hand in hand with your lambda expression. In your functional interface, it needs to have only one single abstract method. That is that is the definition of the functional interface. And the third is your marker interface. Marker interface, as you all know, it doesn't have any methods. So let's see, today we are just going to talk about the functional interfaces. I have just created one simple class. It has a main method and one of the interface, which has one method like show. It is just a simple normal class. Now, this is a functional interface because it just has one method, that is show. Now let's see, we can also annotate it with your functional interface with a capital F. Yeah. So, but this is not required actually because the compiler automatically understands that since it has one single abstract method, it understands that it is a functional interface. Now, what happens if we give one more method, that is add? It will show a compiler error. So this is the error that we face, that is functional interface annotation. It is an invalid because functional interface by definition means it needs to have only a single abstract method. And I will just delete this because this is also not needed. So what I'm trying to do is in my main method, I will just create an object. J is equal to new. This is how we create a conventional object, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide an implementation to this method, that is show. Basically, I'm just trying to print a sys statement, which we normally do. For example, hello world. I will end this with a semicolon, and I will call this method object.show. Let's see what output it gives. It will show me the sys statement, that is which I have printed. Now this is a normal conventional way wherein we implement the method which is defined in the interface, right? This is the normal. There is nothing fancy about this. Now what we can do is with the help of the functional interface, we can combine the lambda expression along with it. So these 5 lines of code will be reduced to a single line. Let's see how that happens. So what I will just delete it. I will put round brackets, arrow, and here I will put sys statement. Actually, this is not needed. So this is allow world. And I will put a semicolon out of it. And here I'm going to call this method show. So let's see what happens then if we run this. Oh, we all again got the hello world. So in this manner, we can reduce the number of lines of code which we used to write, which we used to implement the methods with which the interfaces provide. So this is an example of functional interface along with your lambda expression. Lambda expression actually is inherited by a programming language called as Scala. So Java 1.8, when it was introduced, it made a lot of complex logics very easy to write because just you saw, right, how 5 lines of code got reduced to 2 lines. So this is how we can create an user-defined functional interface. There are other functional interfaces which Java provides, interfaces which it provides. We can see them one by one. So the first is the consumer. What is consumer all about? Consumer, as the name suggests, it accepts a single input and it returns no output. And Java provides two variants of consumer interface, that is accept and then. Accept is again a simple abstract method. And there are other versions which Java provides, that is you can see below, that is in consumer, three versions of accept, which takes different input arguments and which returns different result. So let's see this with the help of an example. So here I've just created a simple consumer example. I've just created a list and I have used stream operation. So we can see now we will see how consumer plays a role in printing. What my objective is, I just want to print this list of elements, right? So I will create a consumer. I will give it a string object. Consume is equal to t round brackets and sysO, right? And I will pass this t as an argument. And what I'll do is, since cities is a list, I will just iterate it. This for each, I mean, for each is basically it accepts consumer as as a parameter. So I will just pass this consumer to for each. So let's see what this class results, what output it gives. So as you can see, all the cities have been printed with the help of the consumer interface. Next is we can see the supplier interface. Supplier, as the name suggests, it supplies the results. It has only one method, that is get, that is it gives out the results. It doesn't have any default or static methods. There are different versions of supplier interface, that is which for different primitive types, that is int, double, long, and boolean, as you can see on the screen. So let's see an example of supplier also. So I'm just going to use a supplier interface here. So what I will do is supplier interface. Okay, so we saw this how we can achieve our objective with the help of supplier interface, right? Is actually it has a test method and it only returns a Boolean value, like that is true or false. It does not accept any argument. And Java provides two methods, that is default and static. And as you can see on the screen, it provides different versions of predicate, that is and, or, is equals, negate. So with predicate also, I would like to show you one example. So as you can see on the screen, it is just a normal class with a main method, and I have created a list of the names. What my objective is, I want to print this string. I want to print the output as all the names which starts with S. So let's see how we can achieve that with the help of predicate interface. So what I will do is I will create a predicate which with a type of the type string. Pred is equal to str dot starts with, since it gives out a boolean, str arrow str starts with s. Okay, because as a predicate only gives out a boolean value. And what if I want to print this? So what I will iterate names dot stream dot filter. In this filter I will pass the predicate interface, the object of which we created, dot map, sorry, dot for each, and here I will print it. So let's see what this gives as an output. So as you can see, it has given me all the names which starts with S. So in the same manner, we can achieve our objective, whatever, because predicate gives out the Boolean value. The next is function interface. So a function, as the name suggests, normally how the functions in Oracle work, it accepts an argument of the type T and returns a result of type R. And all these function interfaces are in your package, that is java.util.function. Yeah. So let's see this also this. So here what I have done is I've just created a list of elements of the names. So what I want to do is function interface. What my objective is, I want the length of each of these elements. For example, Smith should give me 5, Gaurav should give me 6, and so on. So I will just create a function interface. Names dot stream dot map. I will pass, as you can see, right, it accepts a function. So I will pass this object which I created. I want to print it, so collectors dot to list, and I will assign this to a variable str length. And this is of the type, I'll just print it out, string integer. And I will just print it. Let's see what it gives me the output as. So I'm just running this code. What it will give me, it will give me the length of each of the elements in the form of a list. So as you can see, the length of each of the elements in the form of a list. So this is how we can use a function interface. Though, so function interface. We are done with the function interfaces. So I will just summarize the basic. We just created in the start of the video. We created a user-defined function interface, and we saw how the lines of the code were reduced. And I also explained the 4 different types of function interface, that is consumer, supplier, predicate, and function. So this is very important if you're going for a Java interview and also for your knowledge. So see, this was all about the functional interfaces. Happy coding. And if you like this video, kindly like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.